Hey, Jim Cam here. I'm the founder and also the owner of Franchisal.ca. We opened over 100 locations only in the last few years. And in today's videos, I'm going to talk to you about what are the actual costs to open a franchise business. This is one of the most common asked questions. Let me break it down step by step. So you have to think in this way. There's total investment and there's your actual initial investment. So initial investment, what I mean is the cash on hand that you need to have, because the rest could be financed through a banking loan. That is also the best part. So imagine total cost is about 100 to 250K. I know the gap is quite big, but I'll explain why later in this video. And the initial investment, the cash on hand that you need to have, is about 50 to 70K. Just to make sure to be able to cover franchise fees, construction, equipment, and rent deposit. And also, the most important, the first inventory. So the breakdown is at 35K for franchise fees, about 20 to 50K on equipment and constructions. So both are about the same. It really depends on the location that you find. And the rest is pretty much the same. Rent deposit, the landlord usually asks for 3 months, and also the first inventory that comes about 10K. And why does it cost sometimes less and sometimes more? It really depends on the location that we're able to find for you guys. Imagine if we have a previous restaurant that closed down, so all the plumbing, electrical work, kitchen places, basic work is already done. So all we have to do is just to make it adaptable for our concept. But on the other hand, if we find like a scratch blank location, that means we have to build everything from ground up. That's why there's a little gap in between. But sometimes we still need to do it because it's the right location, because the rent is lower, the place is perfect for the business. So a quick summary about what I just said is try to avoid taking like an empty space or a previous clothing store to switch it to a restaurant business. Otherwise, the work is going to be too high. But sometimes it's still a good location. We'll be the one to judge. One of the best thing is most of our business, we do not require a commercial hood. So that's why you save a lot on the fixed costs. So just to name another few of the common factors is plumbing. Plumbing is usually the most expensive. So we try to avoid having as much plumbing job as possible. But people will think like the layout costs a lot, but it is not. The layout is actually the least expensive work. And in between you have electricity and flooring, which really varies depending on the taste. Just to stay on the topic, like a lot of cases, we do not upfront all the cash. Like what I say by we, I say about you. I'm talking about you guys. That's why I talk about initial investment and total investment, because most of the time we get you guys approved by a loan, and it gets approved more than 95% of the time. So don't worry about it. It will get done. I'll do a quick resume on it. It's pretty quick and easy and also safe, because the loan, it's a program that is backed up also by the government. So imagine the company bankrupt, you're only personal guaranteed 25% of the loan. And since the total investment is not that big of an amount, the risk is so minimal for any one of you. So you might ask yourself the question, how much do you need to put down initially? It will be about 50 to 70K. And since we have such a strong brands, not only one, but multiple strong brands, so we already have pre-approval for our concept through at least 2 banks. And currently they cover about 70% of the total cost with the PME program. If you want to start your own business, it's hard to get approved with your own personal business plan. But since you go with a franchise, we already have proven system that works through multiple locations. That's why we get the pre-approval. So now imagine you go through all the process and you finally open your store, and you probably ask yourself, how much can you cash out and how much do you have to leave inside of the business to keep it running? So the way that I will do it is I will only take enough for my personal survival expenses. That's it. And the rest, I'll keep it in business, reinvest it in the business to make it grow as fast as possible. Because that's the goal of anyone jumping into the business, right? You want to create a system that can one day replace you so you don't have to work inside of the business anymore. I think that's the goal for most entrepreneurs. Probably a lot will just want to keep on running, having something to do, but this is what I wanted to do, so that's why I'm telling you this. What I just said was for me, but for any one of you that just have a spending problem, wants to still keep on living life, just make sure of a few points, because the taxes that you collect from the customers does not belong to you. So at the end of every 3 months, you have to give it back to the government. So make sure to have that amount secured, safe on the side. And then also there's other expenses that you might not think about it upfront. Is if something broke down, if there's any bad things that could happen inside of the restaurant. So my take on it is just try to take maximum 30% of what you think will be your total profit. Just give it like a good margin, 20%. So take about 7% of the total sales as a cash out to start with, and then go with the flow, see how the business is going, and then you can just adjust along the way. So let's talk a little bit about taxes. How much you will be paying in taxes. In business, every tax that you collect, you have to give back. But also every taxes that you pay by buying merchandise, paying rent, this is something you can collect back too. So there's a difference into the balance of it. And just remember, whatever does not belong to you, just give it back. You will have no headache about it. And at the end of the year, the only taxes that you have to pay through a company is 19% on the profit margin. So this is how much you pay in tax. So I'll give you some examples that I did in the past when I was still running all my restaurant businesses. So based on the first 2 locations, all the money that I made, I simply reinvested all. I just took enough for my basic survival needs. And then from the 3rd and 4th location, this is where that I say, hey, I kind of have a good system in place. I can start enjoying a little bit more life. There's more in life than just business. So the breakdown looks like this. The 1st and 2 location, you can count it as probably your 1st year in business, 2nd year in business. You try to reinvest as much as possible. It's like you're having a baby. So it needs more of your time. It needs all your energy. It needs feeding most of the time, every 3 hours or so. But as the baby grows, it goes into teenage, and then probably can run by itself, has its own mind, own doing, and you don't need to care as much as initially. So how I did it is, for the first few years, I just tried to reinvest as much as possible to acquire new clients, to build connection with clients, having good employees, making sure the clients order a little bit more, returning more. And then when the whole system is into place, I think about myself. It's finally my turn. Instead of taking 1/3 of your profit that you're expecting, take 2/3 of the profit and live at 1/3 through all your businesses if you're at a point that you have multiple ones. So that's what I'll suggest. Quick recap about the videos. We went through a few points about the initial cost, total investment, how you should save, taxes. So I'll just go through again all the big points that we mentioned. So number 1, total cost of opening a business is about $100K to $250K. So just to be safe, you need to have $50,000 to $70,000 cash in hand. And the rest is usually going to be approved by the bank with a loan. So to go through the cost, it's $35K for franchise fees, about $50K for constructions, equipment, $20K to $50K depending on the location. Rent deposit about probably $10,000, $15K, and first inventory that goes about $10K also. And of course, our brand is so strong, so you don't have to worry about getting through a banking loan. So second point, it's after the opening, so you have to make sure that you have enough cash flow for paying the taxes and save on the side also if any bad circumstances happen. Those are the 2 main things that I suggest you to just save on the side and prevent it if it happens. So I hope this video was helpful for you. So if you have any more topics you want me to go through, just comment below. And if you want to jump into one of our hot locations that we have on hand, just click on the link below. And I'll see you.